Now we have LCM and HCF, very beautiful concepts. We all know how to calculate LCM, calculate HCF. I'll talk about some theoretical aspects. If there are two numbers, okay, for two numbers A and B, if I give you the information that HCF is equal to H, what does it mean? It means that H is the highest common factor. It is the highest common factor of A and B. This is what it means. Okay. I repeat, if I give you the information that H is the HCF of A and B, that means it is the highest common factor of A and B. This means that the numbers A and B can be written as a multiple of H. So HX and HY. We can present A and B as X and Y. And the most important part is that here X and Y are co-prime. They don't have any common factor. Why? Because they are co-prime, because whatever is common between A and B, it is H only. So for the remaining portions, X and Y should be nothing common. Keep this thing in mind. No common factor for X and Y. Okay. So for example, if there is a question that if the sum of two numbers is 120 and their HCF is 10, that means we can straight away say 10x plus 10y is equal to 120, right? Where 10x is one number and 10y is the other number. Let's say this is A, this is B, right? So from here we get, if you divide by 10, you get x plus y equal to 12. Now what are the possible pairs of x and y that we can get from here? Can we get 1 and 11? Yes. Can we take 2 and 10? No, because 2 and 10 will have a common factor 2. X and y, after cancelling out the common factor, or rather the highest common factor, in the remaining things X and Y, there should be nothing common. Say 3 and 9. Can we take that? No. Can we take 4 and 8? No. 3 and 9, 3 is common. 4 and 8, 4 is common. Can we take 5 and 7? Yes, we can. Can we take 6 and 6? No. So there are only two possibilities for X and Y. Try to understand, these are the possible pairs of XY. So XY possible pairs are 1, 11 and 5, 7. So the numbers possible pairs will be what? Remember, A is 10x, B is 10y. So the number possibilities will be 10 and 110. This is one pair. And similarly 50 and 70 will be the other pair. Right? So just try to understand that part. That's very crucial and important. So similarly, if there is a product given, or if there is a difference given, or anything that is given, you can present it in that manner. Okay. Now come back to this. If I give you the information that their LCM, suppose there are two numbers A and B, their HCF is H and LCM is L. What does that mean? You need to understand that this L is the lowest common multiple of A and B. Right? It is the lowest common multiple of A and B. And if I assume A to be Hx and B to be Hy, then it means that the LCM is equal to H into X into Y. Right? These things you can directly use. Okay? Similarly, there is another relation that you have, that if information given, right? This is very important to understand. If it is not backwards, it is if given, then the product of numbers is equal to the product of LCM and HCF. Now, right? For example, if I take a situation like 8 and 12, what is their LCM? LCM is 24. What is their HCF? HCF is 4. So these things are given. You can check that 8 into 12, that is 96, is equal to 24 into 4, right? Or 24 into 4. That's how it works, right? It doesn't mean that you can take any pair. You cannot take 48 and 2, and you can't say that 48 is LCM and 2 is HCF. No. If LCM and HCF are given, then you can say that their product is equal to the product of numbers. So there is a validity issue. Just be careful about it. Okay. Now let's take an example. Here it says find the smallest number that is divisible by 48, 80 and 100. So what do we need here? We need multiple of all of them, and we also need smallest multiple of them. So here we need to find, our answer of the question will be the lowest common multiple of 48, 80 and 100. Right? There are multiple ways of doing it. You can use this cross method, 48, or you can use the factorization method. This is the most common method, I suppose. Okay. Take the common factor to all of them. What is the common factor to all of them? I think 4 is the common factor to all of them. So you get 12, then 20, and then 25. Then if there is a common factor to 2 of them, so 12 and 20, common factor is 4 again, so 3 and 5 and 25. 25 will remain as it is. Now 5 and 25 have a common factor 5, so take it out, right? Then 3 will remain as it is, and this 5 will become 1, 25 will become 5. There is nothing common between even 2 of them. So this LCM will be taken as all the things that you have taken out into everything that remains. 3 into 1 into 5. So please note it down carefully. These 3 and these 3 numbers. So whatever it is, so 16 5s are 80 into 3, 240 into 5, 1200. So 1200 is the LCM of these 3 numbers. The second question says largest number that divides 48, 80 and 100. So we need a factor. We need a factor which is common to all of them, and it is the largest. So here the answer of the question will be equal to the HCF. So it's very easy to understand that if you clarify the language, when you need multiple, you need LCM. When you need factor, you need HCF, right? So that won't be very difficult to understand if you go through the language of the question carefully, right? Now here it says HCF of 48, 80 and 100. So we need a common factor to all of them. So the same process can be applied as this, 48, 80 and 100. What is the number that divides all 3 of them? 4. So if you divide by 4, you get 12 from the first one, 20 from the second one, 25 from the third one. Now is there any number that divides all 3 of them? No. So here HCF is just 4. This 4 is the only thing in this particular situation. Then similarly, there are many cases where LCM and HCF can be used. You just need to take a look at some of those questions.